Hi, I'm Gene Klavan for American Movie Classics. Every evening on location on Catalina Island off the coast of California, 4 people got together to play bridge. 3 were actors, the other was a hairdresser on a Paramount picture called We're Not Dressing. Now, one of the actors was the comedian Leon Errol, who was a crazy kind of guy known for playing henpecked husbands. And the other 2 were relatively unknown actors, legends about to happen. Ethel Merman, Ray Milland. Merman was making her Hollywood debut in We're Not Dressing, and she had appeared in one other picture, but that one had been filmed in New York several years earlier. At this point in her career, she was just beginning to be known as a stage actress. Well, for the guy still being billed as Raymond Milland, We're Not Dressing was a step up in the world. Ray Milland had arrived in Hollywood in the early 30s, and he had minor roles and bit parts in just 2.5 years in 13 films. But the more important question: who won the bridge games? They played for 1/20th of a cent per point, and by the time filming was finished, Ethel Merman owed Ray Milland $6.20. And according to Milland's autobiography written 40 years later, she never paid up, and he took to drink and made the lost weekend. No, just kidding. We're Not Dressing was based on the play The Admirable Crichton by James M. Barrie. See if you can connect it with a popular 60s sitcom which was based on a similar premise. So here are those unknowns, Ethel Merman and Ray Milland, in the picture We're Not Dressing. What TV sitcom in the 60s was based on a similar premise to this movie? Another group of castaways set out on a 3-hour tour. Come on, little buddies, you know it all. Gilligan's Island, right. One person who probably wished she could be cast away was Carole Lombard. She began working on We're Not Dressing before she finished her previous picture. So she constantly shuttled back and forth by private plane between the Hollywood sound stages and Catalina Island. Now, despite the fact she was very busy, she still had time to exercise her famous sense of humor. The entire cast of We're Not Dressing was staying at the St. Catherine Hotel, kind of an establishment more used to catering to little old ladies and to outrageous movie actresses. So one morning, Lombard deliberately outraged the other patrons of the hotel by calling out at breakfast, "Hey, Bing, did I leave my nightie in your room last night?" And now here's something that was left for us. Let's watch this.
Next on American Movie Classics, A Chance Encounter Leads to Love with Jane Russell and Victor Mature in The Las Vegas Story, co-starring Vincent Price. It's next on American Movie Classics.
Do you love classic movies? Are screen legends like Charlie Chaplin, Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Paul Newman, and Marlene Dietrich some of your favorites? Well, now you can order a magazine created especially for you. American Movie Classics magazine celebrates the splendor and brilliance of the golden age of Hollywood. It's the only magazine of its kind. Designed and written for the classic movie lover, each monthly issue features captivating profiles of the stars in front of as well as behind the cameras. Plus, American Movie Classics magazine contains a detailed, easy-to-read AMC schedule of all the great movies and original programming you've come to expect from the only all-classic movie channel. To order AMC magazine and save 50% off the cover price, send your check or money order for $11.95 to American Movie Classics magazine, P.O. Box 2065, Marion, Ohio 43305, or use your Visa or MasterCard by calling 1-800-535-7700.
When the clock strikes midnight, murder will occur.
Go on, say it. The Brighton Strangler. And you're the only person who knows it.
Don't! You're not going to kill me!
Yes. There'll be no new year for you. You'll go out with the old one.
No!
But it's only a play, until a bizarre twist of fate causes life to imitate art, and the hero becomes the villain. He knows his lines, he follows the script.
My hand is the silk cord, and slowly I twist it around his neck. Then I strangled him.
His crimes are perfect, the evidence, none. How can they stop him when they haven't a clue? The Brighton Strangler, an American Movie Classic. Thursday. It was an ordinary night in an ordinary town.
One-hand man, bacon man. Coming up.
Then they arrived.
2 professional killers show up in a small town and put the blast on a filling station attendant. A nobody. There was no attempted robbery. They were out for only one thing, to kill him. Why?
Burt Lancaster, Ava Gardner, and Edmund O'Brien.
Your would-be fall guy is dead.
A film noir classic, Ernest Hemingway's The Killers, premiering Friday, March 13th, 9 Eastern, only on AMC.
The Poseidon Adventure? Not quite. The Towering Inferno? Getting hotter. It's the master of disaster, Irwin Allen's first special effects spectacular. It's got romance.
The state's all the way back to Adam and Eve.
And danger. And thrills galore. Victor Mature, Vincent Price, and Piper Laurie star.
If he goes, I'll go.
Come along on a dangerous mission.
Friday on AMC.
Campaigning in Lower Manhattan's financial district, Senator John F. Kennedy and his wife Jackie are besieged in their car by sidewalk crowds and showered by confetti from the windows of the Granite Canyon. It's a tumultuous reception, one of the most enthusiastic Kennedy has received in his national quest for votes. Building vantages and along the street, 1 million people, it is estimated, join the acclamation for the young Democratic presidential candidate and his charming wife. City Hall Park, another multitude welcomes the Bay Stater, and from a stand before the historic Civic Center, here's a ringing campaign speech.
Abraham Lincoln said in the election of 1860 that this nation cannot exist half slave and half free. I don't think in the long run the world can exist half slave and half free. And whether it moves in the direction of slavery, whether it moves in the direction of the communists, or whether it moves in the direction of freedom, will depend in the final analysis upon us, upon our vigor, upon our energy, upon our determination. And on that basis, on our commitment to build a strong country and a free world, I come to New York City on the steps of this old City Hall and ask your support.
You're watching American Movie Classics. The chills, the spills, the thrills. AMC knows what scares you. Every Friday night at 11, it's AMC's Friday Night Frights. Next time, Bela Lugosi stars in his classic role as the legendary vampire of Transylvania, Dracula. On the next Friday Night Frights, 11 Eastern, only on AMC.
Yes, I remember dish night. You go to the movies and they give you a dish. But I had no particular love of dishes in those days, like the ladies did.
Well, I remember dish night very clearly because my mother would drag me to the movies every week so that we could complete the set of dishes. And I remember specifically one week when we went to see a double feature because they were giving out 2 dishes. And it was the Frankenstein and Dracula. And I was just scared to death. I didn't forgive her for a long time for that.
Don't we still have a couple of those dishes?
Yes, yes. She gave us a few, our heirlooms, our shipped heirlooms.
That we feed the cat.
Right.
Yes, yes, I remember them now, yes.
Greetings to Caesar from Egypt.
Queen of the Nile.
I came to talk of India. Not the quarrels of Egypt.
But I am Egypt.
If I make you so.
To save her throne and her nation, she seduced an emperor.
Together we could conquer the world.
Nice of you to include me.
Claudette Colbert stars in Cecil B. DeMille's majestic production of Cleopatra. Monday on AMC. Coming soon on AMC.
Spartacus, in which the finest cast ever assembled relives one of mankind's most magnificent stories. Starring Kirk Douglas as Spartacus, Laurence Olivier as Crassus, Gene Simmons as the slave Erinia, Charles Lawton as Gracchus, Peter Ustinov as Batiatus, John Gavin as Julius Caesar, and Tony Curtis as Antoninus, in the powerful story of the gladiator rebel who sprang from slavery to challenge the awesome might of Imperial Rome.
The first overseas premiere of UI's screen epic Spartacus is the most brilliant event on London's show business calendar for the year. Among the many outstanding figures present is Mrs. Pandit, Prime Minister Nehru's sister and Indian High Commissioner in London. The West End rings to the sound of the crowd's cheers as Kirk Douglas and his wife arrive at the theater. One of London's warmest welcomes for Spartacus himself, producer and star of the $12 million film drama. Climaxing the parade of notables of politics, show business, and society is the arrival of Princess Margaret and her husband Anthony Armstrong Jones. The radiant princess wears a black gown studded with tiny lace flowers and a snowy ermine cape. In the foyer, the princess and her husband will meet a host of film industry leaders and ranking stars. Mrs. Christopher Soames, Sir Winston Churchill's daughter, presents Kirk Douglas, and the princess has a lot of questions about Spartacus. Director Stanley Kubrick and UI President Milton Rackmill are next, and then UI's Vice President for Foreign Operations, Americo Abuath. With curtain time only minutes away, the princess and Mr. Jones enter the theater to see the film which London has already greeted with a full ovation, Spartacus.
You're watching AMC. Relive the musical memories. AMC takes you back to the music of the fabulous 40s with a battle of the big bands. It's a full-day marathon of spectacular big band classics. Glenn Miller, Benny Goodman, Gene Krupa, Louis Armstrong, Kay Kaiser, and many more.
Pardon me, boy, is this the Chattanooga choo-choo? Yes, yes, track 29. Boy, you can give me a shine.
It's a collection of the greatest big band movie classics of all time. AMC's Battle of the Big Bands Marathon, Saturday, February 29th from 6 to 6, only on AMC.
Do you love classic movies? Are screen legends like Charlie Chaplin, Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Paul Newman, and Marlene Dietrich some of your favorites? Well, now you can order a magazine created especially for you. American Movie Classics magazine celebrates the splendor and brilliance of the golden age of Hollywood. It's the only magazine of its kind. Designed and written for the classic movie lover, each monthly issue features captivating profiles of the stars in front of as well as behind the cameras. Plus, American Movie Classics magazine contains a detailed, easy-to-read AMC schedule of all the great movies and original programming you've come to expect from the only all-classic movie channel. To order AMC magazine and save 50% off the cover price, send your check or money order for $11.95 to American Movie Classics magazine, P.O. Box 2065, Marion, Ohio 43305, or use your Visa or MasterCard by calling 1-800-535-7700.
Before we watch our next feature, I'd like to take the time out to right an old wrong and give credit where it was due. The screenplay for the Las Vegas story was written by Earl Felton, Harry Essex, and Paul Jericho. Now, you'll see the first two names in the credits, but not the third. The picture was made at RKO in the early 50s when Howard Hughes owned the studio. Now, Hughes was as rabid an anti-communist as Senator Joseph McCarthy, and he supported the idea of blacklisting anybody who could be remotely alleged to have communist affiliations. Well, Jericho fit into that category. Hughes had Jericho's name removed from the credits of this film, and another one too, which sparked a long-running feud between Hughes and the Screenwriters Guild. So you won't see Jericho's name in the credits, but let me inform you that Paul Jericho was one of the co-authors of the Las Vegas story, which we're about to see. Let's watch this picture.
Next on AMC, Mark Lester stars as the devoted young master of a magnificent horse in the unforgettable drama Black Beauty, co-starring Walter Slezak. Next on AMC.
Ready for a classic shoot-'em-up Western?
I'll say that.
A rip-roaring mystery?
Our thing's standing now, between you and the law.
And a sizzling shotgun romance all rolled up in one?
Stop or I'll kill you!
Then get ready for The Duke.
Did you want to see me?
John Wayne is tougher than ever and tall in the saddle.
I was hoping you'd think so.
Wednesday on AMC.
There ain't no better time.
John Wayne, Kirk Douglas.
Mine hit the ground first.
Mine was taller.
An unlikely partnership out for gold.
Worth a lot of money. Dead.
Your share will be over 100,000.
Howard Keel, Bruce Stern, and Keenan Wynn are going after the War Wagon. Premiering Wednesday, March 18th, 9 Eastern on AMC.
You think maybe little fella can run?
Be the greatest racehorse in the world.
Roddy McDowell stars in the saga of a boy with a dream.
But he isn't like other colts.
I'll say he isn't.
And an untamed horse that would not be broken.
Get down!
Sounds more like a legend than a real horse.
Bringing into the match.
Run, you jackrabbit, run!
Thunderhead, Son of Flicka. Premiering Sunday, March 29th, 1 Eastern, only on AMC.
This week on Family Classics, we're pleased to present Anne Sewell's timeless tale, Black Beauty, one of the most popular and enduring children's stories ever written. The novel has sold over 6 million copies worldwide and has been translated into 17 different languages. Written in 1877, Sewell hoped her novel would serve as a rallying cry for more humane treatment of animals. Going back to the earliest days of movie history, filmmakers have appreciated the photogenic qualities of man's second best friend, the horse. From the time that a gang of desperados galloped into frame in the great train robbery, the horse has shared the screen with its human counterparts. It wasn't long after this great moment in film history that Black Beauty made his debut. In 1917, the Edison Company used Anne Sewell's story as the basis of a short entitled Your Obedient Servant, and the movie's long love affair with the great black stallion had begun. A silent Black Beauty was made in 1921, and sound versions in 33 and 46. In 1957, Fox produced a sequel to the story entitled The Courage of Black Beauty. And this brings us to today's family classic. Our Black Beauty was made in 1971 and stars the charming Mark Lester. You might remember Mark as the title character in Oliver. This version has been praised for its gorgeous scenery and heartwarming treatment of the story. Please join me now as we present a classic for all ages, Black Beauty.